Hey, it's your girl Jazzy K from Super Tight TV. We want to thank everyone who's been watching and subscribing. And if you enjoy this content, please hit the notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video.
You're not tuned into something super tight. Puffin' something sticky, nigga, I roll through the light. Need to hear something real just to get me through the night. I'm looking for them jackets cause I know they looking shy. Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get the low love from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.
Already, baby, what it do? It's your big dog, Bobo Luciano in the building. Want to thank everybody for tuning in to Super Tight TV because we back, up your back, going smack, 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 like we always do. I got my sexy ass, gorgeous, beautiful wife.
It's your girl Jazzy K.
Hey, today it's time for some serious business. You know, sometimes we got to get serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I tell you, I bring our family members. This guy, I met this gentleman here. I don't know exactly, but I think I met him around 1992 to where we became acquainted. And then throughout the years, we just grew and grew to, you know, just, I mean, damn. I know him, I call him, he pick, hey, Bobo, you know, all that, you know what I'm saying? This is a former music executive. Let me talk correct, because the mescal is tripping. The mescal has got you slurring your words.
Got you.
Yeah, okay, you ain't started yet.
Speak for yourself.
You ain't started yet, okay? But let me tell y'all this, man. I got my buddy in the house. Y'all might know him from just around town being a jive rep. How many other labels did you work for?
Shit, Jive, excuse me, Priority Records, left here during the time when P was doing this thing.
That's right.
They wanted someone that knew P and knew this region. So I went to the LA and was the South, well, at that time, was the senior director of promotion. Then went on over to Artist Direct, vice president, and from there to New York to Virgin Records, vice president, and also at Warner Brothers, vice president.
Now, let me tell y'all something. Now, I know you've heard all the wild stories of when UGK signed to Jive Records. Now, Jive Records had to put somebody in there to watch UGK and walk UGK through some doors. This is the gentleman that picked that straw. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to introduce y'all to Mr. Greg Powell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I bet your boys don't see this and say, Bobo, you tripped out. You done pulled Greg out.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How
sir.
you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Glad to be here, man. You know, I'm really, really proud of what you guys have done.
Thank you, sir.
You know, we talked about it, you know, initially, and just to be here and to see that, you know, you brought this dream together and you and your beautiful wife.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing.
Appreciate you, bro. I'm glad. It's an honor to have you here.
Oh, man, thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I mean, a man of your character and your standards and, you know, everything you've done. I've never heard a person say a bad word about you.
There's a few out there.
Well, I don't deal with
Yeah, I
them.
know.
You know what I mean? If you ain't got no enemies, you're doing something wrong.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
You're going to rub some people wrong.
That's
doing the right thing.
But overall, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it was good.
The good outweighs the bad.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
what
sir.
you want to do. Say, but you know, if you listen to my show, listen to this show, our show, you've heard me say a few times that I'm surrounded by women.
Okay.
My whole life, I've been surrounded by women. So I have this knack for always saying ladies first.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So
And you should.
yes,
And
yes.
you should. And some of the brothers, I know we are doing some things a little differently. You know, I'm an old school cat, but I open the door every day for my
Come
lady
on, man.
when I see her. And it's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's not.
And that's the way we should be as gentlemen. And especially, you know, in the majority of us that's listening, you know, especially young black men.
Yes.
Let's make sure that we take care of our black women.
Just a little gem.
Just gotta throw that out there.
Gotta throw that out there.
I'm old school now.
That's
to
right.
say
You take
that.
care of your mama. You take care of your mama. Take care of your gal.
There you
know
go.
what I'm talking about? So, baby, go ahead and kick it off.
Thank you for that. I was gonna say something, but I said
I threw you off.
you did. Just a little bit.
That's all right.
All right, so Mr. Powell, let everybody know where you're from.
Well, I'm from Dallas originally, from North Dallas,
Okay,
Roseland Home Projects in the house.
Already?
So
Yes,
you from
sir.
So what
North
street is
Dallas.
that, bro?
Rosenholm Hall and Lemon Avenue.
Oh, North Dallas
prior,
projects.
The prior Lemon and Hall before all the construction and thing. Back then when it was Booker T High Schools and B.F. Terrells and Alex W. Spencer's and then busing the Hillcrest High School.
So you went to Hillcrest. I was about to ask you, did you go to North Dallas High School?
No, I went to Hillcrest.
Okay, gotcha.
Hillcrest to SMU.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, in between El Centro and Richland and SMU.
So you finished out of SMU?
Did not finish.
Okay.
Mom got sick.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to make a decision because, back then I had 2 kids and elected to take care of my kids,
Hey.
which was more important than, at that time going to school.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So you had some children young. How old were you when you had your first girl?
21. And the second one is 22.
Oh, yeah.
They were a year apart.
Bang, bang. We know how some people say,
And, had one of them moms like, yo, what you going to do with your life?
oh, yeah, you ain't going to walk away.
Right. So at that point, when my mom passed, it was me to take care of the kids. So I had to do what I had to do.
You had any siblings?
No, it was just me.
Just you.
Yeah. I had my guard brother, Harvey Martin. Y'all remember him?
Oh, yeah.
His sister, Mary Martin.
Is that South Oak Cliff High School?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
How was he growing up? Just the only child.
Spoiled.
So you were spoiled.
Oh, yeah. Got everything.
Did you ever want
in the hood,
siblings?
got everything.
Did you ever wish you had siblings?
Sometime. I had, I don't have official siblings, but I have guard siblings.
Okay.
Oh, I know that.
So that made it. What you talking about?
Yeah, like
every
you
day.
at home
Every
by
day.
yourself.
Every day.
At Christmas
Every day.
break, you want
Every day.
somebody to play with.
No, I was good.
Let me tell you a story.
Guess you can't miss what you never.
Let me tell you a story.
There you go. And that's
That happened to us the other day. Okay, my wife and I, we tried to fool our youngest daughter and tell her that she was pregnant.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's 8. Everything was cool at first. And you know what she said? Once reality set in, she said, so that means less time for me, right?
Yes.
Y'all only child? Y'all got
No, we
Y'all got more than
she
one.
just-
4.
We got 4 girls.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But she's the youngest.
Right.
And there's quite an age difference between her and
Right.
So she's been getting a lot of the attention. So she's like, that means less attention for me, right? Then all the reality starts setting in and she was like, I don't know.
No, her exact words. She was like, I thought I wanted to be a big sister, but I'm not ready. Like, girl, we not either. Say that.
Yeah. She
How old is she?
8.
Oh,
Yeah, so
she's not ready.
she's not ready.
Look.
So she still
She
wants
loves
all
that
the
attention.
She can
That's
enjoy
right.
it right where
That's
she
right.
is.
That's
I
right.
hated to disturb you. I heard you say that, man. I just thought of that story. And I was like, man, these kids, they got it going on. They don't want to rock that boat at all. You know what I'm saying? And I heard of some single only child's not being spoiled. I'm glad you were man enough to say, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I got and I still get everything I want.
Already.
That's the way my life was, and the same thing for my children. The only thing I expect from my children that I expected from them is to be respectful, to get an education, and to be successful.
Yes.
And they've done that.
That's real.
That's what's up.
I didn't ask a lot. Those are the things that I wanted.
Were those the only 2 you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had a mom that said, okay, what are you going to do with your life?
That part.
Never forgot that. And then, as you grow and as you mature, you've got to make decisions.
That's right.
You've got to watch the people that you're dealing with. You've got to watch the women that you're dealing with.
Come on now.
And you got to look at, okay, well, where do I want to be with my life? Where am I going with my life? Because the thing is, when I looked at myself at 22 with 2 kids, had to drop out of college.
What did you do as far as income? back then?
I worked. I worked. There was a time when I worked 3 jobs. I worked at I worked at St. Paul Hospital in the warehouse. I did cleaning. How we used to do the 6 to 10.
Yes.
And then the way I got into the record business, I went to L.A. And I don't know if you remember Roland Ellison.
Yes.
But
I don't know.
I said, hey, man.
Wait, before you tell that story, you got to tell us what schools you went to.
What do you mean?
What schools did you
High
attend?
school.
Besides Hillcrest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Like elementary, we ask all of them.
Shoot, J.W. Ray.
Okay.
Y'all heard of J.W. Ray?
Never.
J.W. Ray is over in North Dallas, across the street from the project.
Oh, okay.
And then I went to B.F. Durrell.
I've heard of that.
If you go off, when you come off 75 in Hall, it's a vacant lot. It used to be a elementary school called B.F. Durrell. When it closed, great story. When it closed down, we all had to go to Booker T. Washington at the time, which was a high school.
yes,
So half the students were seniors, sophomores through seniors, and then half were elementary.
Oh, wow.
So they
wow.
split us.
Wow, that had to be a wild situation.
Okay.
It was.
How was it for you going and seeing all these big kids in there? Was that intimidating?
Well, they split us. They
They split it, but y'all didn't get to see it.
we saw them, shit. But my sister was,
Oh,
my
really?
god sister was there, so that was cool.
I read it.
But it was an interesting situation when you look back. You think, and especially when you think, it's like, wow, because we all reflect on our lives, and we all have different things and different things that we go through in our life, but. You sit back and you go, and here you are in high school, right?
Yes.
You're in elementary school, and then you go into school with a bunch of all of these seniors.
Yes.
And but that's the way it was back then. And then eventually we took over the school. Now it's art school.
Yes.
But all the foundation of that came back from when we were at school. Because after that, everybody went to the high schoolers went to Crozier Tech or North Dallas.
Okay. I remember that time. So, back to your story. What got you into the music industry?
Well, I love music. And it was, back in the day, I went to California. I was working in the insurance company at the time. And I went to California to the Black Radio Convention. Roland Edison, who was the rep at RCA at the time, was there. So I go, this real young cat, hey man, I'll do anything. I just want to get in the business. Okay. He said, man, call me when I get back to Dallas. Call him, 6 months, nothing.
Yeah.
So eventually, man, come on in. So I go in. He said, give me some records. Let me take the records to the club. Because, I'm the first, actually, all that street team stuff.
Yes.
In Dallas started with me.
Oh.
Because I was the first one. So I used to take the records to the club. That's why all the DJs knew me, because I took all the records to the club, gave them, wasn't getting paid.
What year was this, Greg?
Oh, my God. You go
There
really.
you go.
Now, you ain't got to be exact.
It had to be early 90s.
I'm trying to think
before
who DJs.
92.
So before 92?
I mean, you got some of the guys, bless his soul, and great friend of mine, Special K.
Special K.
U-Shay.
Yeah, I was one of you dealing with you, Shay.
Special K, U-Shay, DJ Scratch, Uzi T.
Yes.
A lot of the guys.
Uzi.
Yeah, man. Ron Leslie.
Yes.
Dr. J.
Yes.
All these guys, and it's more. DJ Smooth with the VE. That's still, a lot of these guys are still around that really helped me.
Okay.
Because what happened was when I started taking records to the club, they started playing the record. After they started playing the record, Roland at the time, who was the rep for RCA, they go into their meetings, they go, man, how you selling all these records? And it's getting no airplay. Which Roland, out for that, ended up being vice president
because
of
your
RCA
work.
Records. So they called me up. Now, this is like over a span of 3 years. They call me up. They go, and I'm working in the insurance company. They say, hey, man, Roland said, come on in. So they say, well, we have a job open for you. We want you to be the person over retail. So basically back then, you remember Sound Warehouse, we used to put up the posters and go to the, used to do all of that. So I took the job. Well, the problem was at this time now I was getting paid. I had begun to get paid by RCA and Arista Records. And back then, shoot, I'm getting paid, I'm part-time, doing $1,600 a month to just take records to the club.
Wow. Yeah.
That wasn't bad money back then.
So you were working there and the insurance company at the same time. Okay.
Exactly. You know, so I'm saying that was my part time.
You know what they call that now?
But
A side
hustle.
right. So we did that. I did that. And they said, well, we can't pay you to do both. So at that time, Jerry Johnson, I brought him in and worked under me. He was doing some things, so I had him do most of the street stuff, but I still went out. I just didn't get paid.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep my relationship with the DJ. So, you know, as one thing evolved into another, Jive Records, then, at that time, it wasn't Jive, it was just RCA. Jive. So, Jive left RCA. I can tell you exactly at the time. Remember when Summertime came out, that song?
Yes. Will Smith.
They didn't want us to work that record. That was Jive's first record. They didn't want us to work it because we had a new style, and they knew it was a hit record. So they gave it to RCA. But everything else after that, we worked. So after we worked that record, it came from that standpoint of just, you know, putting this new Jive staff together. Then I decided at that point to still continue with the streets. So I tried to develop it. Because, see, for me, the DJs in Dallas is who made me.
Yes.
Because my records were broke in the street.
Yes.
Nobody could break records in the street like me. So I broke the records in the street. Never got away from the street. I mean, I remember when I was at Jive, you know, we get plaques that go to radio. I sent my plaques to my DJs.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was
Because my DJs made me.
Yes.
That's what's
So
up.
from that standpoint, that's how we, you know, got going. That's how I got up to the record end. It's so far as Jive Records. Now, this is before Pimp now.
Yeah.
You know, because then it was the R. Kellys and the Joes.
I was about to ask you, who was you servicing first?
I mean, it was, yeah, man.
Who's your first artist that once you got the job, they say, this is you. Take care of this artist?
First artist, you know, obviously, you got to remember when you're at the record label, we have whoever's the artist that comes up. Yeah, I mean, I had Spice. I had
Spice.
Short Dog.
Oh.
Short Dog, basically. If I had to choose, say someone, it was Short Dog, it was Spice one. You know, even back then we had Ann Banks we were breaking.
Yes.
We had E40, the whole E40 clique.
Yes.
You know, with Sugar T, 40.
I remember that record deal because it was. I remember seeing it in the Source magazine.
Yeah, it was an
on the
independent
course,
deal, yeah.
$3 million, and at that time that was unheard of.
That's right. That's right.
I remember the cover, $3 million,
And a lot of that was
Sick-Witted Records.
a lot of that was because of what P had done. Because if you remember,
Wait a minute.
no, I'm not going to Power. I'm just saying.
No, what I'm saying is, E40 and the Click was before P.
Yeah, they were. But P was there. They knew, you know, he was before them, but P got the bigger deal before them.
Really?
Yeah,
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Well,
let me say that.
I'm not going to question you because you was in the industry.
He didn't get he got a deal, but it wasn't it was some politics behind some things that P had done that nobody knew about.
Okay.
In regards to the priority deal.
Before we even heard of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. So,
I knew about it.
yeah, that's why I'm not even arguing
But
with you.
see, and see, that's where that whole thing came, you know, with the 40, the you know, the Sick-Witted thing.
Yes.
You know, because if you remember, the Sick-Witted was not that far away from P.
No, within the year. But the Slurricane, wasn't
P
it?
thing had been done before, but nobody knew about it.
Okay. Now you
Because
educated
it was
me.
over there with Priority Records.
Gotcha.
You know? So it was a whole different ball game.
Yeah, you educated me on that. I'm glad. So let's talk about when these people say, okay, man, I'm trying to remember the guy named that ran Jive. Well,
Barry Weiss.
Barry Weiss. Ooh, I heard that name a million times.
Barry Weiss was a music man.
How was he as a boss? Are you still cool with him to this day?
No, I haven't talked to Barry in years. But Barry Weiss, not a prejudiced bone in his body. Barry Weiss was a music person.
Okay.
Period. He was all about the music, all about being successful. You know, I mean, he was the guy that would take a chance. You know, he ran his company. I mean, he ran Powell. He ran Jive. Just a totally different. You know, we were a totally different label.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Than most labels.
So let me ask you this: was Barry Weiss there when it was just RCA?
Yeah, he was Jive. You remember the thing is,
it was Jive RCA.
This is the thing. When Barry was with RCA, he was upset because he knew he had better acts than RCA Records, but he have to stand in line because RCA was the main. So you know, obviously RCA is going to take care of RCA first.
Yes,
right. But Jive had, you know, you sitting up looking at the Jive rap artists that we had. You know, he couldn't get them done, so he said, "Hey, I'm on my own label." So he decided. That's when they broke off. We broke off from RCA.
Okay.
And then became Jive Records. And then we surpassed RCA within a year. You know, because you start thinking about it. I mean, he's sitting in the can, you know, obviously he had 40 now. You know, everybody on 40. I mean, we was getting gold albums on 40.
Yeah.
The Click, you know, and Banks and Too Short and Spice One. You know, all these are gold and platinum artists that we had.
Early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. You know, you got Spice, you got Short, you got
187 Proof.
And then you come out and, even though R. Kelly's where he's at today, but, you know, R. Kelly came. And then R. Kelly, and then after signing R. Kelly, we signed Joe.
Oh, yeah, y'all had a roster.
You know. And
y'all had a couple of
Not Nice and
then y'all have some
Smooth and
what's the white people y'all had?
Oh,
come on, talk
Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys
and
huge.
Not only the Backstreet Boys. Let me think. The other group that
NSYNC.
NSYNC.
Yes, I remember.
I mean, all this doing around the same time, and then we killed it with the movie soundtrack.
The Minister Society.
Minister Society soundtrack, which was huge.
Oh yeah, you know I was there when.
And you know we hadn't even got to pimp them yet.
So let's talk about that day. Come on, let's talk about the day somebody walked in your office and said, "We got a new group. You're gonna be responsible for them."
Well, you know, I mean, I already knew.
How'd you know about them?
Because anybody that was hot back then, I always reported.
Yeah.
And say, hey, man, we got this UGK. We got, Mystical came later.
Yes.
But, told them about UGK, told them about Mystical. Barry, how Barry.
Yeah.
Barry went ahead and did his homework. And then we signed. I think Terry was with him at that time.
Terry McGill.
No,
you're talking about
Terry that works at the newspaper now. Cannot remember Terry's last name, but Terry.
Manager?
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about Byron Hill was the manager?
Yeah, but Terry has something to do with him too.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That's before me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is before you.
Yeah, that's before me.
And when we got him, Pimp is Pimp.
Talk about
Pimp
the first day you met Pimp.
Pimp didn't like me.
I know.
Pimp
like nobody.
Pimp don't like cause Pimp is Pimp.
You don't like nobody.
You have to earn your respect with Pimp. Pimp did not like anybody, and he didn't like being because you couldn't tell Pimp what Pimp wanted. Pimp gonna do what he want to do
all the time.
Period.
So what was that like?
Well, for me,
yeah,
I'm record rap.
You seen that before?
I got rap artists.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he ain't the only one. I have
to sit in at that time I was a regional. We go, all over this region. I got to sit up and be tripping because everybody gonna smoke.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure I'm driving 65 or 60.
Right.
Yep.
Because I can't afford to get stopped because I can't tell it, man, don't smoke.
Yep.
That
you jamming? It's way over there.
Yeah, man, turn that off. But I'm sorry, excuse me. I thought I had turned it off. But just that whole vibe with Pimp, it was cool. But you know what? We came the best of friends to the point where if Pimp and them had to go somewhere, they couldn't. I mean, it got to a point where we had to do a big. I think you was with us when we did that big promotional tour. I had to go everywhere with them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't trust nobody else with them.
And what is that? I mean, I have to just ask, what is that like as a record? How do you have a family? How do you balance,
Were you married back then?
Life, you have kids.
Most of them guys are single, baby.
I mean, the life life.
Well, he said he had kids.
Yeah, I had kids.
Oh.
But I mean, I have time. Got to remember, I'm a dad. They had moms. I had separate moms, but I made sure they had everything that they needed.
Sense.
And it even got to the point now, just to go to show you the time span. My daughter had graduated from high school. She had moved with me. And this is when I was at Jaye. Once she graduated, she had decided she wanted to move with me. I mean, you find time. You're not gone all the time.
Yeah.
When you're in the record business, you might go on a promotional tour. Okay, we got a tour. You're going to go out for about a week and a half. 2 weeks at the max.
Okay.
But, then you go back home.
Come back home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, then you might not have to go back out. Or, you're going to have to go, work your records. You just set up a 3-4 days. Okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to New Orleans. I'm going to go to Nashville. I'm going to go to Oklahoma or whatever.
Okay.
What do you rate Chad as being in your difficult clients?
I love Chad.
No, I ain't
I
asking
can't. It's kind of hard for me because once we got together,
Yeah.
But
before that.
Oh, shit, Chad was hard. He was harder than probably, who was the worst? The best person I ever worked with was Will Smith.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Will was like this. We come in here and we're going to do an interview, right? And I'm the rep. Will's on it. I'm going to sit here over there on the couch because Will going to come over here and take care of everything that you got. That was Will Smith. He was that type of, he had that type of personality that
hands on.
Yeah,
and professional.
I remember we had Will and Jeff on a bus. We were doing their promotional tour. Well, Will was getting big at the time, so we actually traveled on a bus. We rented a bus, and I remember me and Will sit back, and this was during the time when he was married to his first wife, and Johnny Gill was messing with his first wife. And we sit there, and we were going from Dallas to Jackson, Mississippi. And I never forget, we sit there and just talked about that whole situation for the whole time. Man, what do you think I should do? That kind of stuff.
So he was still married to her while Johnny again was piping her down?
Well, Johnny, yeah.
Yeah.
But you knew about that, right?
So he didn't, because, I'm sorry. I've been going back and forth about the Will Smith slap, okay? And I still feel kind of like...
Well, I'm like, man, why all my former jive artists have to go through this? You got R. Kelly in jail going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to talk about him too.
I'm sure. Go ahead.
But, I kind of was just like, I'm still on the fence about whether it was real and was he losing his temper and stuff, dealing with that?
Well, I don't... now, let me say this. I will give you my own opinion. This has nothing to do with Will. Just looking at that whole relationship thing between him and Jada is just really a little different than the norm. The whole thing. I just think Will's is a little intimidated by Jada can there are some guys that are a little weak and you can't get out of.
We're gonna call him weak, or we're gonna call him too nice.
Let's say
no,
too nice.
Don't
like
say
that.
too nice.
I like that, Bobo. We're gonna say too nice.
No, don't say too nice, because that gives the nice guys a bad rep. It is something.
Well, I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm saying it's
tell you
women
what,
that like
But
nice guys.
sometimes people take your kindness as weakness.
If you allow yourself. I just think, it was just a crazy situation, and Jada was a little upset, and Will's, reacted. And, and we never know what kind of partying they had pre-party.
Yeah.
I say that all the time.
They might have had a little.
They might have been on one.
They might have been. Yeah, they might have had a bump or two or something.
When I look at, I hate it happened because I think Will is really just an incredible guy. He made a huge mistake, for what he did, but
he'll bounce back.
It is what it
he
is.
will.
I mean, his last movie was pretty good, Emancipation. Actually, I looked at it and I thought he did a great job acting.
Already.
I don't think he, obviously, I think he would have been up for an award if he could have been, because I thought he did that good, but obviously that's going to hurt him.
That's the only thing. But you know what?
I don't think he cares.
I mean, I think
he does.
About accolades?
I think you do. I think you do, because, when you're in that field and in that area, once you get a certain ego, that ego is going to stay there regardless.
Yeah.
I mean, even just like, I look back at myself in the record business, my ego, and I used to say, I used to think I was really, really down there, but I had an incredible, huge ego. I really did.
Yeah, you did.
Thanks, Bobo.
What made you realize it?
Well, in life, the Lord has a way of humbling you.
Look at that camera and say that again.
Well, I'll tell you, he does. He has a way of humbling you. And, as things evolve in your life, you have to kind of, a lot of times in life, we have to reinvent ourselves.
Yes, you do.
You go through life and either there are people that are too weak to say, well, dang, this was me. I could have did this or dang, what am I going to do now? I've never been a what am I going to do person because one, I've always been trusting in the Lord for everything.
There you go.
For me, the way I'm able to move forward, no matter if I'm vice president of this company or if I'm doing this or if I'm, because I had a huge ego, but I never got to the point where I felt like I'm more than you. Bobo could tell you, he could call, I was vice president, whatever. He could always call.
Oh, yeah.
All those DJs I used to talk about, they could call me anytime because I always appreciate it. But my ego was within me.
You weren't scary.
No.
You weren't scared. And it took a person like that to handle Chad.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. It took a person like you.
I mean, but is that ego or is it just
No, it took a person like him to be able to
understand.
If you would have probably said from the jump, and you may have, I'm from Texas. You might have just, the rough spots y'all had in the beginning might have just blew out the way.
Yeah, but he knew that.
Did he know it?
But the thing with Chad, I mean, even when it came to Barry said, well, Greg, he called me, Greg, make sure Chad is okay. Make sure, I need you to go so. That's why I end up having to go on tour with them outside of the Southwest region because I was a national, but I was a field national, basically. But I had to go everywhere because they did not trust. Because Chad didn't care about it. If he didn't respect you, you had nothing.
Hey.
But, so far, and the thing what you have to realize about artists, I mean, all of these, mostly the majority of artists, they all have their own personalities. If you look at them, they all are different in some way. So it's not like Chad was no different than anybody else. I mean, when I was working with R. Kelly, I could work with R. Kelly. I had no issue. But there are some people couldn't get him to do nothing.
Now,
see, just would
about to
depend.
say that when you talk about ego now.
I never saw that because I did his first show in Baton Rouge when he was with R. Kelly Public Announcement, and we was on a bus. Went to Baton Rouge. I mean, I remember the first show we did at in Baton Rouge, and I said, okay, 6 a.m. we got to be up. You know who the first person was at the bus?
Who?
R. Kelly. Public Announcement was on there because I was able to establish that relationship, not only with him, with the whole group. So a lot of it's how you establish yourself with people.
That's true.
He probably didn't get I ain't gonna say a bunch of ego to where he got out of control until, after their first couple of albums, well after Public Announcement, I would say.
I never had a problem with R. Kelly because I was there at the foundation.
That's what I'm saying.
So I never went through a lot of the issues that a lot of people with. The same thing with 40. I mean, I still, me and 40 still text,
Does he have a reputation?
No.
I never heard him.
40 is great.
Okay.
Who was the most difficult artist, if you can say?
Initially, would have been Chad.
That's what I want you to say.
Initially.
Yeah.
And let me see who else.
He was a different animal, wasn't he?
Yeah, Chad. But, it's just like when I think, you notice I smile when.
Yeah.
Because you're
thinking about it.
Yeah, because you know how tight me and Mom were.
Yes.
That should tell you. I love Mom. I mean, she was my heart.
Sweet.
And, she called me. I mean, even after I left.
Think about how young Chad was, though.
Yeah.
17?
Yeah.
Come on. Still a kid.
Yeah.
But that old soul.
Real old soul.
What did y'all think about that?
What?
That the music that he was creating at that young of an age. I know you had seen.
He was from. I was in Dallas. You got to remember, I was in this region, so I'm in the clubs.
Yes.
So I'm seeing this.
But at that time, it wasn't going to tell me something good.
There was enough.
But to see
It was
him-
enough to get the deal done.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, when I think of Chad, I think of UGK.
But you've been in the studio and watched them work.
Yeah, but I think about the music. I
Yes.
think about when I take a UGK record out. I think about I put a UGK record out and it goes, I just give it to him. I don't even have to say, hey man, I just a UGK.
Let me play it.
You know,
But you been in the studio with, I mean, what I'm saying is this.
let me say this.
You got a 17-year-old kid.
Go ahead.
They're saying, I want the meters. Asking for, I need a Leslie organ. I remember all the stuff he used to ask
Yeah,
for
but see,
at that young of an age.
but he was a genius.
There you go.
I mean, man, you know, I really feel a certain way from the standpoint. We did not get an opportunity to see him peak.
His full potential.
We missed that full potential because his maturity, his growth was just coming.
Yes.
To go to a whole different level. I mean, do people realize the respect that UGK had when you get Jay-Z asking them to do a record with
Right.
him
Yeah.
and turned into a monster record?
Monster
Yes.
hit.
And then
Grammy nominated.
that made Jive Records have to say, like, what?
And not only that, just so many classics. Like I believe with good music, it's the
I mean, I'm
you
still,
can put
I
it
still
on
hear front, back,
anytime.
side to
Yeah,
side.
years later,
And you
every
remember
time
that.
slap.
You know, and you know, sometimes I will ride around sometimes, you know, and hear people, you know, bumping UGK, you know, smile, you know, like, wow, you know, and just bang, you know.
Yeah.
And what gets me sometimes, I'll be wondering, damn, did they even know about UGK? You know, because they be younger.
Yes.
But they up there bumping UGK. You
And
know?
you were there from the start.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah.
That's wild.
You know, it's so funny. KRS-One, which I think is one of the most incredible lyricists ever.
He's in my top 3.
You know, told me, came to Dallas. You know how Chris talk. Hey man, I don't understand how is Spice One and UGK are playing and you can't get my record played. And I'm saying, well, man, I say, we in the South. He said, yeah, but they're playing UGK in New York. But why is my record not getting played?
What song was they playing in New York or UGK? Pocket Full of Stones?
No, it wasn't. I think it was it Front Back? It was. I don't remember exactly which one, but it was played on Hot 97. And his record obviously getting played in New York. So he's in Dallas on a promo tour.
We're on the same level.
And he's trying to figure out, to
know
me,
what's going on in New York.
why I couldn't get his record played. I mean, play. You know, I got to play while he was here, but I could not get it on it because you know, Dallas is a whole different vibe. And I was telling him, man, you know, listen to the radio, bro. I said, it's not you. You are who you are. But I mean, it's gonna take a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously we got pockets here, you know, and you know I knew all the pockets. I had it played in the pockets where the real hip hoppers were.
Yeah, yeah.
But you know, so far, you know, you can't play KRS-One, you can't play KRS-One in regular rotation in Dallas, Texas.
No. He had some songs that you probably could have, but yeah, he was more of an
It was
underground.
more just for the listener. Like I feel like when I listen to certain KRS-One,
You know who broke KRS-One? I'm sorry.
I'm listening for the lyrics, not necessarily like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's KRS-One. He's
Right,
a lyricist.
right.
And I think one of the best. I would say, obviously, the top 2 or 3.
He is.
I mean, Chris is unbelievable. Chris is, and he's a great guy. He was, you know, and that's the thing. You know, I remember him, Mary. What was his name? I can't remember the rap last name. Mary.
From New York?
Yeah, from New York, and he had to cut with R. Kelly. I can't remember now. He was a great artist, but something happened.
The Fiesta song?
No. That was that's him and Jay-Z.
No. I'm talking about it. Okay, I know what you're talking. That is Jay-Z. But he had a song with another little young rapper.
Yeah. It's I cannot believe I can't remember his name now, but he, I thought he was someone that potentially was going to be a huge artist, but something happened within his ranks of his staff, and it fell apart.
Wow. So, Jive Records.
Priority Records.
Let's talk about Priority.
Okay. Well, Priority.
Was that the Master P?
Yeah,
era?
they wanted someone, and the conversation between Jive Records and when I went, because I was in Dallas, you remember, and I actually I was a national, but I wanted an opportunity to be a national in New York or L.A. When I remember, they called me, young lady called me from Atlantic Records, said, hey, because we used to joke all the time. She was vice president of Atlantic, and she said, his name was Sandra Sullivan. She goes, Greg, stop laughing, quit joking. I'm serious, I want to talk to you. He said, you're going to get a call from Garnett March, who was, at the time, was senior vice president of Priority. I said, okay. He said, he's going to call you, he wants to talk to you. I said, okay, cool. So he calls, he says, hey, man, I want you to become my senior national director of Priority. He said, we got Master P over here and got some other people. I want you to come. Would you be interested? I didn't even hesitate. I didn't ask about the money.
Yeah.
Because I want get a chance to go to L.A. Yeah, I'm in.
Already.
So he said, hey, man, I'm going to offer you X amount of money. That made me even more happy. So, I had obviously give me an attorney then. Because now I'm getting a national job, so you have to have attorneys to negotiate your contract.
Oh, wow.
So I had to give me a attorney out of New York, negotiate. Well, I called people. They referred. I talked to a couple of people and decided that the guy that I wanted to work with. So went on to Priority, and I remember the guy who was the assistant for Garnett said, "Hey man, I called. I had Garnett because you'd have to do a courtesy call to the other vice president to tell him you're offering his person a job."
Yeah.
He said when he told him that. He told the vice president at the time was Larry Kahn at Jive. He said, hey, I'm interested in your guy, Greg Powell. So he said, the phone just went dead for about 30 seconds. They didn't say nothing. He said, oh, okay. But I don't think he's going to go. So, needless to say, I left and went on to, went to New York. Went to L.A. and found me a spot and went on to Priority. And man, it's great.
Great experience.
Great experience. I loved L.A. I would have never left L.A. if I hadn't got the job with Virgin.
But, who were you working with in 2000, 2001?
I think it was Priority.
Priority? I'm going to tell you a story. They say life is sometimes full of regrets. Some people say I don't regret anything because it made me the man that I am today.
Right.
I remember one time we were at GG's nightclub on the off night. I saw you in the parking lot. Bitch, get up off me was at his height. And we were talking in the parking lot by my car. You said, Bobo, I can get you signed. And I looked at you and said, no. I'm cool.
I remember that.
One of the worst mistakes. And you know the reason I said that?
Why?
Because what I had saw Chad and them go through with
I
Chad.
know.
I was just about to ask. What?
I know. And you remember, I had left.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes. And sometimes I know it's not your job, and now being in the position I'm in, when you extend the olive branch and somebody block it, sometimes you're like,
oh well.
Sometimes I wish somebody would say, are you sure? You know what I'm saying? Then I probably I had been drinking that night.
But you got to remember, I knew you knew UGK.
Yes.
I knew you had the bitterness. Even though I told you I could do it.
Yes.
I knew that you still felt what Chad and was going through. Because I think after I left, it got worse.
Oh yeah, it got kind of real bad. Especially when they were trying to do the Riding Dirty album. He was trying to push. Riding Dirty was supposed to be like a 2-album deal to have a screw version.
Right.
And they didn't. They slipped on this. They weren't feeling screw.
They didn't understand.
They didn't understand screw.
Yeah.
And then when Chad went to jail, all this screw stuff, the Swiss House stuff blew up.
Right.
And it was like, I told you so.
Right.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Which is why representation matters.
Well, it's just like two things. I'll tell you what makes me real proud too, Jaye. What would you say Mystikal's biggest hit would be?
It had to be when he was with Pharrell. What you think?
I would say Here I Go.
Oh, before. That was the one that brought him in the door.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why I feel good about that record. When I was at Jive, nobody could hear that record. They wouldn't even press the record up on CD. So I took 300 copies of that record on vinyl, gave it to all the DJs, because I knew it was a hit.
Yeah.
And sent it to everybody. Record blew up. You know that.
Yes.
Then Greg Street came to Dallas one week. Greg got the record, went back to Atlanta, blew it up. They said Greg broke that record. Greg did not. Dallas, this region, Dallas, all the way from Dallas to Nashville, blew that record up. And I did that record off of a vinyl cut. And I think back, when I hear Here I Go. And another one.
Danger.
When we did Down for My Niggas.
Oh.
Nobody could hear that. I guess, we're on podcasts. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody could hear that record.
Boy.
I knew.
Don't.
So if you
Still to this day.
Bolo, do you remember the clean version of that record? That
Touch them other hits.
Down for my. Yeah. Down for.
Trying to reverse it.
Yeah, I had to do all that because nobody got it. It was a hit. But when I was at Priority, I told him, I said, man, look, we got to play this record, bro. He said, well, what do you I said, man, I don't care how we clean it. We just got to clean it.
How can they not figure that was going to be a hit and make them say,
okay.
This man make a sound effect into a song and it popped. Trust this man's process.
Man, the thing, when I think back about P was making so much money, bro. It got to the point P wasn't even mixing records. We were just he was sending records out. They hadn't even been mixed and put a name on it. P Mac. That sold 500,000.
Shit, just
because there was no limit.
Greg, I remember being a kid. I said kid. We were not kids. We were younger. Watching Master P on Arsenio. You remember that episode? And he came out
with it.
And he came out with all those CDs. He had a stack of CDs. He said platinum, gold, double platinum. I was like, and he was sitting them on the little ottoman. Bam, double platinum, gold, platinum. And all that was within that year.
Bro, and nobody even knew the songs off half those albums. You were just buying it because it had no limit written on it. Which, thank you, P. You gave me my first big job. Because I'm sure Priority had so much money, and then we were there. It's like, man, you do so and so. I remember we did the tour. Me and P. We did him on the bus, man.
Yeah.
Now I'll tell you, P was hard to deal with.
Really?
I remember we came home. You remember Junius Thomas? Junius was my Priority rep, very close.
Junius?
Yes.
Yes.
Now he's a producer now for D.L. Hughley. But Junius and I were here because I came home. Because, anytime I got a chance to come back to Dallas, I want to come. So I came on. I was right with P. So this is during the time Skip Cheatham was at K104, and we decided to Skip was going to go to the game. Back then, that was Vince Carter. I don't know who he's playing with, but they were going to the game. So, Skip had a ticket for me, for P, and so P gonna tell him, he don't need a ticket.
Talking about you?
Yeah, he don't need no ticket. Okay. He ended up taking the ticket. Me and Junius went out to the steakhouse and got something to eat.
Yeah.
And just let P roll, because, that's P doing his own thing. It was, it was a little tick. Because I still had to go to Memphis with him when I left. So, so... That's why they had somebody on the national staff going out with him. Like when he went to the East Coast, they had Craig Davis, which was our national at that time on the East Coast. So he had to go. But I have to say, I think P might have been worse. We were good, but P was P. So
you know who ruined it for the relationship between rappers and executives?
Who?
Q-Tip.
Why you say that?
Rule number record company people are shady. You remember that line?
Well, I was working with him, remember?
Was hey, I know you remember it.
Yeah.
Hey man, we used to take what New York said as gospel, man.
Really?
Bro, they was up there in the Mecca.
Yeah, but
And dealing with the labels.
yeah, but
That boy said record company people are shady. Now we gotta watch them. Now we gotta watch y'all.
and that's the way y'all perceived everything.
Come
I
on.
never, you know what?
We was
In all
kids,
these many
Greg.
years, I never even thought about that.
We were kids. We were in our 20s. Think about that.
I mean, I used to listen to it. I didn't.
That boy said record company people are shady. Oh, they are. We better keep the big guy out.
Well, you know what? And think about this: Q-Tip should have been bigger than what he is today.
Come on now.
Right or wrong?
Should have been.
At the Vibrant thing, I thought he was going to blow up.
After he left Tribe, he had one hit,
Vibrant thing.
and then after that, you don't even hear about him anymore. What that tell you?
Attitude.
It could have been. Was it the record label or was it him?
I'm thinking it was him.
Common than
I always think it's the artist.
Yeah, because Ali and
Ali and Fife.
Fife were awesome. They were awesome, but Ali and Fife and were here on this side, and Q-Tip was on this side. So what did that tell you? Remember the group broke up.
Yes. Yes.
That was one of the greatest, I think one of the greatest rap groups, because that was a group that was able to not only do the East Coast, we accepted Tribe Called Quest. We love Tribe Called Quest.
What was your favorite
Bonita,
album?
Applebum, and all of that.
What's your favorite album? I know mine.
Which one?
From Tribe. What's your favorite? I know mine. I know what people say, but it ain't what.
The album with Bonita Applebum and Check the Rhyme.
That's the first one. Oh,
The Check the Rhyme album was my favorite one.
that's my favorite. The Low End
The
Theory.
Low End Theory.
Ooh.
That was a
That's a classic.
true classic album.
Man.
And you know, man, I think back sometime of all of these different artists, because you know we're not even counting. You know, we hadn't even talked about Virgin and working with Janet and all of them. You know, and I'm still going to probably work on this new Janet album too. But you know, I think about my life. I mean, and like I told you about being humble. You know, I could sit up and tell people, well, you know, I work with so and so and so and so, and you know, I don't even have but one plaque in my house, and I got plaques. I would say 75, 80 plaques.
Why you only have one?
Humility.
I got them stored because
Okay.
that's
You
where,
have 'em. You
that's
just
where I
not
was
displaying.
in that life.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm living in the life that I am now, and that's not that life.
That makes sense.
You know, so, but you know, it's interesting as you know because I go on shows. You know, I was on in New Orleans doing the R. Kelly thing, the trial. They had called me up and did about an hour and a half. You know, they wanted to talk about the R. Kelly because, you know, the program director at QUE said, man, I remember when you brought him in here and had him to sing. Told me, man, this dude is bad. You need to hear him sing. And I had him to sing a cappella to them. And he, you know, he talked about it, you know, kind of like what we, you know, Bobo, some of our history. And, you know, I think about all these people and I just look at it and, you know, it's been blessed to have an opportunity, you know, a cat coming from the projects, you know, that had an opportunity to experience some of the things and experience some of the people that I've been able to be a part of and look at all the different records that I was a part of breaking. You know, it means a lot.
So I know you humble, but run some of those off.
What,
some
records?
hits? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Give me a good 5
hits. I mean, come on, Bobo.
5 ain't enough.
Well, I mean, he could name a bunch. You see, he having all that time. He got a lot of them.
I mean, it's better.
It's just because he's trying to stay humble.
No. I tell you what. You can. It's better because I mean, when you're with a record label, you're with a lot of artists. I mean, I did all the Spice One stuff. I did it. You know, let's just you go back. You know, did the Too Short stuff. You know, I mean, you know the records. So I mean, you did. You know, obviously R. Kelly, the Joe. This is on Arista. I mean, on Jive.
Man, I got a question for you.
That's not even counting before I started working on the record side. You know, I was doing all the street side because I was doing the street stuff with Arista Records too. So, I got a chance to do, Big Boy them and, Outkast and, working streetwise, not from the record side, but from the street side. So, because, and then, you look at all the Masterpiece stuff and, what's really interesting, the Aaliyah record, that was off of that soundtrack went number one. We took that record. It wasn't even a single. We made it a single at priority on the Menace to Society. No, not the Menace, but the Training Day. Yeah. You remember the Training Day album? We did the Training Day album. We took the Aaliyah single off of the album. It wasn't because we didn't have the rights to a single, and we took that record number one.
So I got a question. I heard you say something. You did work radio, right?
Yeah, I worked radio.
That's rhetorical. That's rhetorical. Was it really a situation where R. Kelly tried to block Joe?
No.
Joe felt that way, right?
Yeah, for a minute.
Okay.
No, R. Kelly didn't block Joe. R. Kelly produced records for Joe.
Why do you think Joe felt that way? Because he was a hell of an artist.
Yeah, but he wasn't R. Kelly.
No, nobody was R. Kelly.
But
Aaron Hall.
Right. I'm about to say
one record. Yeah. And then Aaron Hall. And once R. Kelly came, Aaron Hall was back in the back. But
you're right.
Joe is a friend of mine still today. Incredible artist.
Incredible.
But I know a lot of people were throwing a lot of shade and Joe is saying this and Joe is saying that, but really it wasn't like that. Joe wasn't tripping on it. Joe doing him. If you're an R&B artist and you see a dude sitting up here doing 2-3 million and you doing $1 million, it's going to always be competition.
I think I saw an interview with him.
But then it's like R. Kelly came before Joe, so how you?
No. Joe was out there. Joe was on another label. You remember Joe was on Mercury, I think. So we got Joe from another label, and he came over there with us.
Didn't Joe do a joint venture album with one of the DeBarges? Or did it?
With
El DeBarge?
Not El.
Chico. I remember that record.
That was a good album.
Ooh, that record was jamming. You remember that?
Yeah, they did.
That album was jamming.
Yeah, and they went out on tour together. They were both managed at the time by the guy who signed Erykah Badu. Oh man, I cannot remember his label now, but he was managing both of them at the time, and that's how they got together.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're finna get off music a little bit. We're gonna go a little personal. Okay. I believe everything happened within 2022, right? You lost a couple of friends.
Couple?
I know the ones that I know of.
Bro, I lost
Hollywood.
Well, I lost.
That was your best friend almost.
That's one. Yeah, definitely. But I lost during that year. My best friend. The two guys that were with me when my children were born was a guy named Fred Harper. You don't know him. These are my best friends. And Bernard Drake. Fred died in April. Bernard died in October. Special K died,
Yes.
in November. This is not counting the others. And then Hollywood died in January.
Wait a minute. Then we just had one.
Tony B. And then, it's tough. You losing a lot of your friends. I was telling my girlfriend the other day, I said, well, dang, I said, I thank God that I met you.
Yeah.
Because she's an incredibly awesome young lady. And, I think God does things, it's like, because, I used to have all my boys, and I still, have associates, but these are people that were extremely close to me,
Man, every time I saw a picture, you was with Hollywood.
Yeah. Hollywood, man, you know what? And we were football, we everywhere, football games, baseball games. And it's so hard this year, not getting an opportunity to, have, Hollywood. Because sometimes it's just me and him. We be at the house and we go to the game. Because, a lot of people don't even want to go to the game. I get tickets. Say, man, let's go to the game. Nobody else. Hollywood, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, Hollywood is, to me, Facebook is boring since Hollywood passed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you were a friend of Hollywood made celebrities of people.
Always smiling.
Always smiling. He took pictures with everybody. He loved his camera. He took pictures, and it's
You're the first person I thought about when I found out he passed.
Well, it's difficult. I had to do his memorial. Mm-hmm. Did you know about that?
No, sir.
Yeah, we did his memorial, and I had it was tough times, and I had such an incredible group of young ladies. Lynn Hayes, you know her?
Yeah,
you know Lynn. And Lisa Ramsey.
I don't know Lisa.
Lisa Ramsey and Belinda Ramsey and Monisha Perkins. I would say Lisa and Belinda were, pretty. Everybody who's in Dallas knows them. But for them ladies to help me, we did the memorial over at the conventions. Over at Black Arts.
Yes.
They helped us. I had to pay for the room, but obviously they gave me a discount. And I mean, his memorial was just unbelievable.
I bet.
We had everybody from Will Downing, Dee Dee, and Tom Joyner, on video. And then, because I know my buddy, he didn't want a memorial where you coming out playing, Amazing Grace.
Oh, yeah.
He said, Hollywood wants a party.
Playing taps. So, we're going to upbeat it, man.
Yeah, so we had, Nanette Lee was a big help. The morning team did a skit during his memorial. I had performances. Let me say we. We had performances for his memorial from Yarborough and Peoples performed. Mark Harper performed. This other young lady sung. We had comedy. We had cupcake because it was his birthday. He wanted it around his birthday, and it was just a fun evening.
Beautiful.
And but I truly miss not only him. I miss all my guys. Because it's I think sometimes you know how you get off, you want to call your boy. What's up, man?
You know how many times I used to call Mama house just to hear Pimp on the answering machine,
or even talk to Mama.
Well, yeah, but no.
Yeah.
While Mama was alive, you could call that phone number,
and she still left.
No, yeah, Pimp's
message. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So death is hard, but it takes a lot, and I know. Losing Pimp is taking a lot out of you, and I know it. Even though I think Bum is doing incredible, he's such an incredible young man and has evolved in such a businessman and such a smart man.
Yeah.
But I know it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of you. When you lose people, and life changes, and but you have to keep going.
My condolences to you and his family and his friends, man.
Yeah.
Now, this is my last question for you. My wife's probably got a question.
Okay.
This is something that I know my wife's going to love and feel.
Okay.
She don't know this about you, and you can tell me if you're still involved. I remember one time you were either promoting or over some type of jazz thing.
Oh, well, jazz music has always been, even when I was in rap, I always loved jazz.
Yes.
I have a couple of jazz pages. Both of them are We Love Jazz Festival. One of them is a We Love Jazz Festival, which basically was a concept a friend of mine, LaDonna Yates in Houston, came up with. And she came up with the idea, well, I want to just do a page. But my dream was, okay, well, it's cool to do a page, but nobody can put anything on a page but us.
Yes.
So I said, well, we're going to do a group. So we did a group, and, there are some artists, Will post, and Jeanette Stevens will post on it. There are certain people that post on it. So, I always love jazz. Jazz has been my thing because, jazz, I like to mellow out. Jazz chills me out. I like traveling, and I like listening to jazz, So, I still like my R&B. I still like my hip hop. Well, don't like hip hop like I used to, because I don't
Old school.
I don't think the hip hop that a lot of the hip hop that we hear today has any substance to it. You know, I mean, when you think back, you know, in our day, even with Pimp and with Biggie and
Yes.
Pac, and I mean, they were saying something.
Come on.
You know, whereas now, you know, I mean, I'm so glad they're getting away from the mumble, because that mumble's, it would make no sense to me, man. I mean, come on, man.
The mumble rap.
Yeah,
Mumble rap, gone.
yeah. Let's, you know, I mean, you know, but the other thing you have to look at it is life evolves.
Yes.
It's just like when we were young, and our parents would tell us, "What is that mess y'all?
What is
listening
that? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, all that bass. And this and
Yeah.
that. So, you know, you have to also realize that life, you know, evolves. We get
Exactly.
older. As you get older, things look different and they seem different to you. So you have to look at it from that perspective.
So I know you love the Cowboys.
You know that. Even though I think, you know, you don't want
We're not going nowhere.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
We're not going. We're realists.
Well, yeah, we realists.
We can go.
Let me say this.
Are you listening?
Let me say this.
A Commander fan.
Are you listening?
Oh, yeah, he's listening.
Let me
Okay.
say this.
You gotta watch the Commander fan.
You remember
It's Commander.
You remember when
It's
Green Bay
Commando.
won the Super Bowl here in Dallas?
2010, 2011, something like that.
Whenever they won, McCarthy was the coach.
Yeah.
This year is very reminiscent of that year. You want me to tell you why? During the Super Bowl, McCarthy had 12 starters out over a period of time that year, and they were able to win. I'm very impressed with McCarthy. I'm going to tell you why. We lost linebacker, right?
Yep.
We lost
That was our
slot.
number one tackler.
We lost our slot.
Yep.
We lost our cornerback, right?
Yep.
We've lost slot, our cornerback. We lost our big fat dude that we traded for
Yep.
to play in the middle, right?
Yes, we did.
Right? We lost our quarterback for 5 games, right?
Yes, we did. 5 games.
When Jason Garrett was here, you lose one player. Oh, and not even talking about we lost Tyron for most of the
Oh,
year.
come on.
So
Hall of Famer.
if I told you we're gonna lose all that in the beginning of the year, I say, Bobo, we're gonna lose all
Well,
that.
hey,
you wouldn't have told me we'd have been 12-4.
Listen, you remember what they said after week 1 when Dak went down?
Yeah.
It's over for the
It's over
Cowboys.
for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
For him.
it up.
It's over for y'all, cuz.
Yeah,
Hang
because
it
you know,
up,
you
y'all.
remember on first,
Yeah.
I was looking at first take. There's Dallas is done. So
they
you know,
always
as we look at
first
things, you never know what. I mean, realistically, no, it looks like Dallas doesn't have an opportunity, but
But they can.
But you never know.
But you never know.
because
Were we
you
expecting
got-
them in 92?
Who you got quarterback? You got Purdy.
Yeah.
You got what's the good
Hurts.
No,
And then
Hurts is good Minnesota quarterback.
Cousins. He's a good quarterback, bro.
No, not the Super Bowl. When he's talking Super Bowl, we can beat him.
Well, you can get him. Let me explain what I'm saying. Hurts, and I put him and Cousins in the same bucket.
Yeah. Well,
You know
no,
why?
I think Hurts.
Let
is
me
a little
tell you
bit
why.
better. Tell me why.
Because they both changed once they got a true number one. When he got A.J. Brown, Hurts became a superstar.
Yeah, and you need to
But this year,
give Dak some problems. He lost his number one and was able to.
you give
throw.
Dak a true number one,
He'll be all right.
I'm going to talk to y'all about something off camera that no one's talking about. I don't want to rock the boat on camera.
Yes, don't.
No, but we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
This is my second thing since we're talking about Cowboy. We're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Sean Payton.
What about him? Do I want him?
Are you excited about that?
No, I
Me
want.
either.
I want to keep. I want to keep McCarthy. But
We're not going to keep McCarthy.
Well, I'm just saying.
Okay, let me ask you this. If we lose
The first round.
or second round, Jerry say it's NFC Championship game or bust.
I would keep McCarthy, regardless.
Would you keep Kellen Moore? Oh, that's a tough one, ain't it?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
What would you do?
I'm with you on Sean Payton. I'm not excited about that at all.
You know what? It was funny. Before, when I was coming here, I was thinking. I was listening to NFL show, right? And I was thinking about Sean Payton, and I said, I was thinking about all the different reasons that I told you that the Cowboys were doing, that I thought have had a really great season in spite of all these injuries. And I said, what if they get Sean Payton and they end up going 7-9?
Well, Sean Payton, you think Sean Payton had a great quarterback like Drew Brees and only won one Super Bowl with him?
Right.
That's tough.
And Sean Payton has really, his resume is no better than McCarthy.
It's not. You got one Super Bowl.
They both have one Super Bowl. And the thing, like I said, I like about McCarthy, it's always next man up. Yeah. And he's been able, because you remember during the period when Jason Garrett was here. If you lose one player, we never could. I remember
Dak went out.
Yeah, when Tyron Smith went out.
Oh, when Tyron Smith went out, the year
when Zeke went
2017.
Out. Yeah,
20 years. I remember that.
You have to, I look at things like that.
Gave up 8 sacks in one game to one player in Atlanta.
And made no adjustment.
Didn't give him no help.
No, he just stayed the same. He couldn't. Predictable.
That's right. No in-game adjustments.
I will say this about the Cowboys. What my biggest issue, and you can relate to this. Mm-hmm. Everything is a mentality.
That's right.
Like when I'm working in the, even when I was at Little Artist Direct Records, and had Smiles and South Star. I don't know if you remember them. You remember them? You remember they were always number one on 106 and Park. It was a Chinese guy and a brother.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes.
And they were number one. That was my record.
Oh, wow.
And at the time, Ashanti and what's his name? Ja Rule had the same record, and we were able to beat them. And what it lets me know, when I was in the music business, along with anything else I do, I want to win.
Yes,
I consider myself a winner, and I mean, hell, I still play Madden.
Oh,
I mean, I'm ranked in Madden
right now.
In the 15,000.
Oh wow!
Okay. Yeah, top 15,000 people on 4. I'm on 5.
Okay.
But I'm just competitive from a standpoint. I'm a win. I feel like I'm going to win at whatever I do.
That's how I think.
And I think the problem with the Cowboys, this Cowboy team, these Cowboys, they don't have the mental capacity of saying, that's a head coach job, though. Well, the culture. Yeah, that is. But it's got to be inside the player. When the Cowboys had Michael Irvin had that attitude. And he still has that attitude today.
Well, think about it, though. Jimmy Johnson had that attitude.
True.
And Troy Aikman not Troy Aikman.
Emmett and Troy.
No. Who you said? Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
Those two alone, you got your boss and somebody that's down in there with the crew.
Yeah,
that's doing the same thing. Now, that's just like being in the car business. We don't know nothing about that. You got your GM,
right,
and you got somebody that's damn near the snitch, or you know what I'm saying? Right. And he gonna do all the dirty bit. That was Michael Irvin,
right?
You know what I mean?
And now potentially,
Michael Irvin would cuss people out.
Potentially, Parson has that attitude, but he's too young.
He's got to
right now. Yeah. I thought this year he was gonna bring it, but after all the accolades started coming to him, he got a little too cocky. I think he's gotten a little too cocky.
He's nowhere close to Lawrence Taylor.
No. And he started hearing all that noise.
How good you are.
Yeah, and I think he got a little too cocky instead of staying focused on, hey, man, we need to be better. Because I loved what I was hearing from him in regards to we got to be a better team. We going to do this. But now, he's
been playing hurt.
I'm reading about him talking about the president and what you should do. And, brother,
play football.
I'm not going to.
Why are we talking about Jalen Hurts and we got a team in between Jalen Hurts?
And then we lose the game.
And we lose that game.
See, those are the things.
Yes, I feel you on that. But before you go, I need you to rub that Dallas Cowboys stomp. We need a little energy.
Some of that good energy.
That's our Apollo stomp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We like to get that good energy if we go this year or not.
Well, yeah, and the other thing is just, and I say this just for everybody that's looking, in life, we gotta, we go through so much. You gotta try to stay positive. You gotta try to keep as much good energy within yourself as you can. Because it's easy to be down. It's harder to stay up.
Already.
That part.
Baby.
And good energy around yourself.
Yes. Baby.
Yeah.
You want to ask him your question, but ask him from the artist that he repped.
I was thinking the same thing.
Hit him with it, baby.
That's why you my husband. No, you've been waiting on that, haven't you?
Good Jack.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you.
You might need it for this question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rest in peace to the Pimp.
That's right.
It's Pimp C, the day after Pimp C
That
birthday,
part.
y'all.
It is.
Already.
Long live the pimp.
Go and ask that question. That's gonna be a hard one for him.
Ooh, it might not be.
No doubt it.
Oh, Mr. Humble over here.
You've heard that before.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, then they say,
He might be ready.
It's usually not the artist that'll do
Mr. Powell,
good.
Yeah. Of all the artists you've worked with, who's your top 3
No, songs.
songs?
Yeah, give me 3 of your favorite songs from your artist that you've worked with.
Ooh, that is hard.
Not really.
Okay.
My
I was
first
gonna say
one,
top 3 artists.
and believe it or not, y'all might not. It seems like you're ready.
Seems like you ready.
That's
Yeah.
gonna always be.
I think my number 2, obviously, is front, back, side to side.
like that.
Hey, okay.
And let me see. We did a remix on Janet Jackson. Let me see if it's that one. My third one, because it's a bunch. You know.
You the one said it was gonna be you down.
Yeah,
You know, yeah. Well, you know. I mean,
Still
it's
waiting
easy,
on the
but,
third one.
but you had to.
That third one's always hard.
You had
Third
to.
one's hard.
You had to make me think about it.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what the point of it is.
Because I got you know, he's talking about
A
long time.
You got a long resume.
Okay, summertime.
Okay. Okay. And so you telling me you gonna pick from back side to side over pockets?
Pockets full of stone. Yeah.
That's his, yeah.
So let me tell you this. I know it is.
You know why?
I know it is. You tell me what the people at Jive said when they heard from back side to side.
They didn't like it. What? Some of them didn't like it because some of them couldn't hear it. But, you had Barry Weiss, who has the most incredible ears.
Yes.
Knew it was a hit. I mean, Barry loved UGK.
Yeah.
With a passion. Because, he knew they knew. And that's why he allowed, so much from Pimp.
Yeah.
Because he knew. But, man, they just turn in albums. It wasn't, well, you know how a lot of times when you turn in an album, they'll say, oh, no, we don't want this one. Can we get another record?
Not with them.
They never turn back.
He wasn't gonna give it to you if it wasn't
UGK put the album in, it's done.
It's done.
Yeah.
So, damn, you had another question about that before we go. I can't think of it. I asked you off camera. So, man, I appreciate you coming, brother.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the time. And, enjoyed hanging out with my people.
It's been an honor having you, bro.
Man, it's just good to see you and good to spend some time with you all, man. And,
Oh, yeah.
and just, I'm just so, again, I like to emphasize how proud I am of you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Because, we talked about it.
We did.
You said, man, I'm going to do it. And you went and did it, And,
I also said I'm going to have you out.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Well, you know I'm always here whenever you need me.
Thank you, brother.
You know that, man. And actually, like
Next
I said,
time you do something with some jazz, let us know, because my wife would
You like
love
jazz?
it. Come
I
on.
love it.
We love live instrumentation.
well, you need to get, like I said, on the face. One of the things you should do is get on the Facebook page. It's we love Jazz Festival 2 with the number 2, and that's a group page. You're gonna see all stuff. Sometimes I even do recordings. I'll go to a jazz show, put a little bit up there. I don't try to put too much on there.
I miss the jazz festivals.
I knew this was going to be a hell of an interview.
Oh well, I do the jazz. Oh, by the way, we're putting together a group. It's going to only be 30 people to go to the Seabreeze Jazz Festival, which has an incredible lineup of people. This is going to be in when is it? In April? Yeah, in April. And we're matter of fact, I was supposed to speak with the travel agent today because she called yesterday.
You're putting it together?
Yeah, it's going to be part of the We Love Jazz Festival. It's going to be our first thing trying to move this thing along.
Let's go.
Because we need to get it because we got about on the actual page we got over 3,000 people on the page. On the group page, I got about 1,600.
Do we have a real? I know the answer to this. Who would you say is the best jazz artist here in Dallas that you have connections with?
Well, the best jazz artist. That's a great question because really most of our jazz people here are not 100% jazz.
Oh, who you like?
Well, I mean, I support everybody.
No, who's your? I mean, you ain't got to say who your favorite. Say what.
Well, I think one of the, and they're not necessarily 100% jazz, but I think Natural Change is one of the best bands out here.
You know them?
Yeah.
Can you get them
You
for
know
me?
Natural Change, right?
No, can you get them for me?
You know Natural Change, right?
I do. I've heard.
How you don't know Natural Change?
I might know
Bobo?
him.
Come on,
He
Bobo.
don't listen. Bobo's still 100% hip hop.
No, I'm not.
For the
It's
most
just
part.
not no R&B out there that I like.
Well, they're a good group. Dunn is always going to be out here doing Dunn's thing. The thing with Dunn,
Don Diego.
with Don Diego, I think Don Diego is
That's
as
what
talented
that's
as
what-
Samples.
I think he's as talented as any jazz player around. Dunn should have been here.
Come on now.
I'm gonna just be very honest with you. I when I look at Dunn, sometimes I hate that
That
we wasn't
baffled
able
me.
to maximize the talent that
That
he
baffled
has.
me. That baffled me a long time, bro.
But him, Don, but it's really just when you look at jazz per se, it's, a lot of the top people, don't play a lot of jazz. They play jazz, but and you got to understand when you're in the city of Dallas,
Yeah.
if you just play straight jazz, you might not get as many people. Young man.
Well, you used to back in the day, like when the Oasis was out and they used to have the jazz festivals. Like it was so many, but now I think it's less because there's no station catering to that.
Yeah, and it's a young man, Vandell Andrews. Are you familiar with him?
I know him.
Vandell,
I've heard him.
he's a good kid. I mean, before the pandemic, Vandell was, and a lot of people don't know this, but he was the number 10 smooth jazz artist in the United States.
From Dallas.
Yeah. Well, no, he's originally from.
But he lives here.
Yeah, he lives here, but he was originally from Louisiana, and he came, back then during Katrina. But I mean, it's some jazz people here, but it's nobody that blows me away to the point where I say, no,
Craig, I love you, bro.
no, I'm gonna be honest. I've always been.
And
Like,
nobody just blowing my hair.
and what
back
I'm
right
saying
now.
is, it's not because of the talent.
Yeah.
It's just because the focus is not there. And reason being is that it's not too. People got to make money.
That's right.
So they can't just necessarily go out and play a bunch of jazz and people want to hear it.
That's right.
And be consistent.
This ain't a big jazz market, in other
Exactly.
words. I feel you.
It's a very big underground jazz market, but it's not a jazz market. I went to which I went to Bernard's Wright. I went to New York to see the memorial for Bernard Wright.
Yes.
Which was unbelievable. Snarky Puppy came in. Yarborough Peoples were up there with Liz, who's doing a play right now, who's always over at the balcony, but she's in New York. She was there. That was a true jazz thing that night. Honoring Bernard, because Bernard was just one of the most phenomenal artists ever. Here, and to be here and to see him here in Dallas during a period of time, and just to see this brother play was it was incredible.
Well, sir, you let us know next event,
I will.
and we surely appreciate you
Man, thank
coming
you.
out. You got some shout outs?
No, I don't.
I love you, Greg.
No, I don't. I'm just.
You never heard that one, Kenny?
That's a first.
Hey, listen, I ain't got no shout out.
I ain't got no shout outs.
What about your gal?
Oh man, well,
She know what it is.
She know.
You know what?
You already
better
mentioned
shout-
it.
Let me say this.
You better shout out Baby Love.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the opportunity. The one thing I will leave with you is for you guys, reach one, teach one.
That's, man, we've been talking about that
That's
lately.
what I would shout out and say to you is to reach one and teach one, because our youth needs that.
I got my youth right there. That's them right there.
All right,
I'm reaching after this one.
that's right.
That's a youth right there, man. You don't look like an old man, but
No, he don't. That's right, Kenny.
I just mess with him. But bro, I appreciate you coming.
Oh man, thank you.
You are a super tight guest, baby.
Know I'ma get some game tuned in with super tight, yeah. I get it all up from Big Bobo, from the front seat, not no photos.